Okay, we're live now. Just to do a bit of a test to see if the feed is proper. Yep, and it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be watching a death battle, my favorite internet show of all time, or perhaps my favorite show of all time in general, and just make sure this feed is working properly one more time. Yep. Okay, we're good to go. So yeah, I'm going to be watching reacting to a death battle: Dante from Devil May Cry versus Clive from Final Fantasy. And yeah, I haven't seen this episode yet. I was originally going to watch it when it premiered, but through process of elimination, I knew, or I strongly assumed, that Yugi versus Ash was going to be the announcement for next time. And I had very low motivation to actually watch this battle because number one, I'm sure both franchises are fine, but I'm not too familiar with either franchise, and I just wasn't really very hyped for this matchup, mainly due to a lack of knowledge. But I heard it's great actually, so I look forward to that. But yeah, I wasn't really motivated by the matchup itself, and in addition, on matchups that I'm not that big of a fan of, while I do make a point to watch every episode, part of the hype is just knowing who's going to fight next time, and or looking forward to the preview of who's going to fight next time. And yeah, basically through process of elimination, almost knew that it was going to be Yugi versus Ash, so I didn't really have the next time on Death Battle announcement to look forward to. So I had very low motivation since this episode's been out for about a month now, and to actually watch it. So yeah, I've procrastinated, but Yugi versus Ash premieres tomorrow, so this can serve as a appetizer. And I heard it's a great episode anyway, so I look forward to it. So yeah, let's begin.
Dante versus Clive.
DMC's Devil Hunter versus Final Fantasy's Shield of Rosaria. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. It's a dangerous world out there. Cultists, demons, and evil businessmen lust for power. And every day brings a new cataclysm humanity must face.
This world may seem like the end, but for a devil hunter like Dante, it's party time. Who'd expect anything less from the son of the legendary demon Sparta?
A dark knight who, thousands of years ago, woke up to justice and sealed away the demon lord, Mundus.
But then Sparta mysteriously died, and his wife got iced by some demons, leaving Dante and his brother Virgil separated.
Despite a long-gone family, Dante kept a chipper attitude and set up a business dedicated to one thing:
killing demons! And with the blood of Sparta running through him, he's the best in the business.
By harnessing his own demonic energy, Dante bolsters his speed, power, and durability, letting him block kaiju-sized punches, move faster than a meteor,
and regenerate like an unstoppable force of nature. As long as he has the energy, he can heal from getting shot, stabbed, sliced through, basically anything.
Even without his regeneration, he's survived heat that would reduce the layman to ash.
But no hunter is complete without an arsenal, and Dante's got one hell of a sword left by his dad, Rebellion. Plus ebony and ivory, 2 magic pistols with endless ammo clips, and they say the perfect gift doesn't exist.
But Dante's full arsenal is far larger and stranger.
Like King Cerberus, a shape-shifting set of elemental nunchucks. Cavalier, a pair of buzzsaws that are also a motorcycle. Balrog, fiery fisticuffs for boxing and capoeira. And Navan, a guitar. An electric guitar!
There's also Lucifer, a backpack of endless laser swords that Dante got after slaying... Actually, we never see how he beat Lucifer.
Yeah, you know someone's a badass when they off-screened the actual devil. Then there's my fave, Dr. Faust, a sentient hat that turns Dante into basically Orville Peck. Oh, it shoots crystallized demon blood.
Dante needed this and much more when he got a warm welcome from the brother he thought long dead. In a twist of fate, Virgil was alive, but went down a very different path.
While Dante was partying, Virgil studied the blade, seeking the power he needed to exert his will, even if it meant killing his own brother. Something he came close to doing in their first meeting.
But the defeat only spurred Dante's awakening. He learned to teleport using Trickster, slow down time through Quicksilver, and double team foes with Doppelganger.
With a slick pose and the right timing, he can royal guard dang near anything, then use the absorbed energy to armor up as a dreadnought.
And then there's Devil Trigger, a super form Dante achieves through his supernatural power. By tapping into his inner demon, Dante can fly and gains an enormous boost in speed and power.
Naturally, his rematch with Virgil went very differently, and that was far from Dante's peak.
When Mundus got up to his old tricks, Dante battled the Demon Lord in a vast sea of stars, a universe Mundus created on a whim. Even later, Dante one-shot a stronger alternate future Mundus who had completely merged with the Demon World.
So he's kind of a big deal. Literally, Mundus became a living universe just for Dante to shoot him in the face.
Then there's Argosax, a god so astronomically intense he had the power of every other demon in existence, a divine deity of the sun that Dante also shot in the face.
Oh, that guy! I completely forgot about him.
Funny, so did Dante. Despite how powerful Argosax was, he was just an insignificant Tuesday to Dante.
So it's safe to say Dante had become the strongest around. But no amount of style, pizza, or wahoos could fill the hole in his heart. Sure, Virgil was a power-hungry weeb, but he was still his bro. Beneath Dante's antics, killing the last of his family kinda messed him up.
Until he learned his family wasn't as gone as he thought. It turns out he had a nephew, Nero, who Dante would help get into the family business in his own unconventional way.
And for dead weight, Nero was pretty badass, even helping Dante take on the so-called Demon King Urizen. Nero's Devil Breaker arm can fire light-speed lasers that Dante and Virgil have dodged.
Dante and Virgil can already dodge lasers in their base forms, but when charged with enough demonic energy, they can outright blitz beams over 11 times faster than light.
Nero even survived getting melted down while inside a living statue. It's a long story.
And that's the same sort of regeneration that Dante has, meaning he can survive being turned into a puddle.
So Dante was ready when Virgil somehow returned. Again. And made an apocalyptic demon tree for what else? More power!
With the entire world now on the line, Dante had to get serious and fully embrace his human and demon sides alike by stabbing himself.
Holy shit, Dante has been impaled so much, he decided to make it how he powers up. So he got his greatest weapon, Devil Sword Dante, and became Sin Devil Trigger.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension.
But no, by all means,
What did you
go
just
ahead,
say? I
skip
don't
the
understand.
ad, save a few.
This is Dante's demon energy at its peak. He can fire lasers with Luce, obliterate with the fires of judgment, and surpass even the legendary Sparta.
But although Dante was totally a match for Virgil, neither of them would budge on their ideals. Both were destined to duel until one was dead forever.
But thanks to Nero and two well-placed bitch slaps, they got some sense knocked into them.
Dante realized that if he couldn't make Virgil abandon his ways, he might as well keep an eye on him. In one fell swoop, the two severed the world-spanning demon tree and prepared for a permanent departure to the underworld.
You can choose your friends, but
So why'd he give up on killing him?
Sparta.
But although
They got.
both were destined to duel until one was dead forever.
But thanks to Nero and two well-placed bitch slaps, they got some sense knocked into them.
Dante realized that if he couldn't make Virgil abandon his ways, he might as well keep an eye on him. In one fell swoop, the two severed the world-spanning demon tree and prepared for a permanent departure to the underworld.
You can choose your friends, but not your family. But if that's what it takes to keep Virgil safe, or rather to keep the world safe from Virgil, Dante will deal with it. And all things considered, he's happy slugging it out with his bro. Maybe happier than he's ever been.
Proof that as long as you have the human drive, even hell can become a paradise sweet enough that a devil may cry.
Okay.
Wiz, it's an emergency! This fight's gonna have a banger soundtrack, but my headphones broke!
Well, good news. This battle is sponsored by
Job
Rayner
animation.
and Ray,
Sound or get ahead on gift.
a man destined to be. Sit down as we tell the tale of the kingdom of Rosaria and its prince, Clive Rossfield, a man destined to be a dominant, the host to a mighty guardian icon.
Anybody who's a dom can draw on magic life juice called ether, becoming a big scary monster.
And commanding the element they embody to create storms, slay armies, and split the sea. Dominants are forces of nature, and Clive would be the dominant of the Phoenix.
Well, he was supposed to, but Big Bird said no thanks and instead picked his sick little brother Joshua. Parents don't play favorites, but I guess ancient monsters can.
Despite the rejection and a deep loathing from his mother Annabella, Clive and Joshua were only kind to one another. Clive saw the burden his brother bore and accepted his blessing of the Phoenix in hopes of becoming Joshua's shield.
Meaning he learned a bunch of magic. He can shoot fire, teleport with Phoenix Shift, and took down this beast before he was even out of puberty.
Even without magic, Clive's a capable swordsman, able to boost his speed and perception with precision dodge. But it wasn't enough when Annabella betrayed Rosaria for the Empire of Sanbreque. In one night, Clive's knights, people, and his own father were slaughtered before him.
Quick, someone use a Phoenix down!
Those aren't in this game.
Well, that's unfortunate. But the Phoenix icon sure is, because the trauma of everything made poor Joshua lose control.
Clive wanted nothing more than to help his brother, and perhaps this desire awakened the icon that was in him all along, the fiery beast, Ifrit.
Boy, is Ifrit a wild one. Just standing nearby will incinerate the average Joe. It can make fire barriers, regenerate lost limbs, decimate foes with a flaming spirit bomb, and shatter a walking mountain.
The downside being Clive couldn't control it. He didn't even remember becoming Ifrit or battling the Phoenix in a fight that reduced everything he loved to cinders, leaving Joshua presumed dead.
If that wasn't bad enough, dear old Ma found him the next day and made him a slave to Sanbreque's army. Clive spent 13 years wallowing through life, searching for Ifrit's host for revenge, only to learn the one he wanted to kill was himself.
This revelation hit Clive like a phantom train. He thought death was all he deserved for taking the lives of Joshua and so many others. Even so, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. No, not like that.
Thanks to his friend Jill, the outlaw Sid, his doggo Torgal, and a very therapeutic battle with his self-hatred, Clive learned to carry the torch for his brother, fighting the real problems plaguing his world: crystals and racism.
In the world of Valisthea, prejudice is alive and well for bearers. Basically, anyone who can use magic without special crystals.
So what better way to dismantle the system than to help fellow bearers and destroy the mother crystals ruining the planet, all while picking up some nifty abilities.
Through a mysterious power that lets him absorb icons, Clive took Garuda, an avian with sharp slashes and sharper talons. From Sid, he received Remove, so he could summon lightning.
From his bae Jill, he got Shiva to freeze lava and even time itself. With Titan, he can block and absorb blows with earth-shattering fists. From this dragon prince, he got Bahamut and some deadly lasers.
And through Odin, he can slow the flow of time and slice apart the fabric of space.
Both can manipulate time.
Looks familiar.
With these powers, Clive stepped up to lead the bearers, and even reunited with Joshua, who was alive all along. Surprise!
Clive spent 5 years freeing the land and became hot as hell while doing it. Well, no, not well, yeah, that way, but also through Ifrit. By using part of Ifrit's power, Clive can set himself aflame, activating Limit Break to boost his abilities.
But Limit Break is far from Clive's limit. After absorbing the Phoenix essence from Joshua, he became Ifrit Risen. Now fully in control of the monster that had tormented him, he embraced his role as a shield for his brother and friends.
Just in time to battle in space, block a planet-wiping blast, and overpower this dragon at the speed of light.
That's no exaggeration. Ifrit Risen is literally stated to move at light speed. Not surprising when Clive has intercepted lasers over 3 times faster than that, and overpowered Omega, a god-slaying weapon that can destroy, and I quote, all of creation.
But what made Clive strong enough to do all this? You know, besides the majestic man cleavage.
Faster than that, and overpowered Omega, a god-slaying weapon that can destroy, and I quote, all of creation.
But what made Clive strong enough to do all this? You know, besides the majestic man cleavage.
Turns out Clive's birth was orchestrated. He was intended to become the vessel of Ultima, an ancient, all-powerful being that created humanity. but abandoned them after they developed free will.
Meaning everything that happened was the fault of one person. God, the bastard! But Clive wouldn't be a puppet. If God was in the way of humanity's freedom, then God was gonna die.
Easier said than done.
No shit!
Ultima was stronger than anyone Clive had faced, able to warp all of reality to create a universe. But Clive had a secret not even Ultima foresaw. Over his journey, he developed a special state of mind, Logos.
AKA someone powered by human will and the bonds of consciousness with others. Okay, that sounds like anime friendship crap, but trust me, it made Clive a badass who could surpass his limits, getting stronger over the course of just one fight.
So much so that, despite struggling against Ultima initially, by the end of the fight, Clive took out Ultimalius, a more powerful amalgamation of Ultima and his entire species, all while Clive was in his base form.
Ultima literally became Ultima Squared, but Clive still kicked his ass, using his bonds with his brother, his friends, and his unbridled will. Clive killed God in a giant 999,999 damage punch! Okay, so it really was the power of friendship after all. Man, this guy's got a future in shonen.
Well, except we don't really know what happened to Clive. Whether he lived or died, though, doesn't really matter. It was his journey and the world he created that made his life meaningful. Clive's dream of a future where everyone can live and die on their own terms had become a reality.
And his stories were written up in a book by a certain Joshua Rossfield, which he titled Final Fantasy. The battle's coming up next, so call your winner now, folks, just like our sponsor, DraftKings.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings.
It's typical. Okay, so Dante, I caught it, but Dante is faster, 7 times faster than light, compared to Clive's 3 times faster than light. Dante could go toe-to-toe with someone who was capable of destroying the universe, while Clive was able to go toe-to-toe with someone who was capable of destroying all of creation. So it depends, are we considering all of creation to involve the multiverse? Or, yeah, that's a good versus battle question, whether or not you should consider all of creation to be quote-unquote the multiverse. And in terms of hacks, I'm not really familiar with any of them. I don't recall hearing anything that would constitute a hack. Yeah. So, am I gonna be a bastard and go back? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Fuck it.
Your soundtrack, but my headphones broke. Hard. Sure, Virgil was a
Existence, a divine deity of the sun that with the demon world.
So he's kind of a big deal. Very differently. And that was far kind of a big deal. Literally, Mundus became a living universe just for Dante to shoot him in the face.
Then there's Argosax, a god so astronomically intense, he had the power of every other demon in existence. A divine deity of the sun that Dante also shot in the face.
Oh, that...
Yeah, but there's... So would you just assume that there's a multiverse in Final Fantasy?
Bahamut and some deadly lasers.
And through Odin, he can slow...
I do recall, without being able to cite specific examples, I do recall overthinking matchups in the past, and it actually leading to me putting my wager on the wrong combatant. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dante, maybe just assume speed kills, and just cross my fingers that all of creation in Final Fantasy just includes that one universe. But I don't know, though, because I know how Final Fantasy works, though, because... Well, I don't know if each Final Fantasy game is a different universe, although I do know they're self-contained stories.
all of reality to create a universe. But Clive had a secret not even Ultima foresaw. Over his journey, he developed a special state of mind, Logos.
AKA someone powered by human will and the bonds of consciousness with others. Okay, that sounds like anime.
They developed for 3 times faster than that, and overpowered Omega, a god-slaying weapon that can destroy, and I quote, all of creation.
But what made Clive strong enough to do all this? You know, besides the majestic man cleavage.
Turns out Clive's birth was orchestrated. He was intended to become the vessel of Ultima, an ancient, all-powerful being that created humanity, but abandoned them after they developed free will.
Meaning everything that happened was the fault of one person. God, the bastard! But Clive would...
These early
But if that's came Sin Devil Trigger, this is Dante's demon energy at its peak. He can fire lasers with Luce, obliterate with the fires of judgment, and surpass even the legendary Sparta.
But although Dante was totally a match for Virgil, neither of them would budge on their ideals. Both
Read defeats. Well, you know, they can both cut through space, and Dante is faster, so he would probably, and I would imagine, wouldn't cutting through space just undermine multiversal level durability anyways, assuming that Clive is multiversal in durability? Yeah, I mean, if it just eliminates space, I mean, if this piece of paper is as strong as the multiverse, but I slice it with my hand that can slice through all of space, then it would still go away. Or be cut in half, so yeah, I'm gonna actually give it to Dante.
were destined to duel until one was dead forever. Drawable pick 6 bonus picks that...
And I do... Who do I like more? I mean, I like the idea of Clive being conceived, you know, despite the flaws of the Chosen One, trope. I do like the idea of Clive being conceived to take over God, to possess God and just make the world better. I mean, yeah, like, F you, God, Miss Sophiaism all the way. That's pretty badass. I mean, granted, I'm sure Miss Sophia themes are in Devil May Cry as well. I mean, they're fighting demons, although I don't know if there are specifically gods in Devil May Cry. I very well may be forgetting something that was stated, but I digress. Yeah, I'm going with Dante. Dante's definitely faster. They can both cut through space, but assuming Clive does have the advantage in durability, with the all of creation line being stated, implying that that might be a multiversal feat. Yeah. So even if he does surpass Dante in strength or durability, he can, they can both cut through space, which would nullify presumably, I would assume, would nullify the other's durability advantage, assuming that did exist. And Dante would get the first blow, because he is 7 times faster, or he is 7 times faster than light, as opposed to Clive, who was stated to be 3 times faster than light. Although there might be more to their speed, and I might have missed something, but we'll have to see.
expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
I'm excited for this. I have my edges on the seat running for Dante. Because he is who I predicted would win. And hopefully it's for the reason I stated too.
Hey, I heard your fiery friend is causing trouble, and I'm in the business of dealing with trouble.
Leave now. I have a god to kill. The last thing that will stop me is a demon.
Let's ride!
Fancy yourself a bard?
All the classic modern version of people.
Stay down! No hiding in the shadows anymore, Smokey. Time to see the light!
What the hell is that?
Virgil's got some competition. Still holding out on me? Let's see what your monster can really do!
So the devil cries for more. Let's give him everything we've got! Joshua!
Underestimate you!
Yes!
I need more.
It's been a bash, Smokey. I need Not bad. Not bad at all.
After a fight like this, the gods will be nothing.
Fuck. I gotta say, I can't remember it being done before, but I've always loved maybe this has been done before anyways, but I've always loved the idea of having characters who have these incredible forms that are extremely powerful, like near multiversal or at least universal level super forms in a death battle. I love the idea of them fighting, but then at the end they revert to their base forms with barely any energy left and just trying to scrape out a win. Really cool, and they did that here, and it was really cool. And also, I love the modern medieval clash. I love how they played on that.
Okay, that was a whole nother level
That
of
was
close,
long.
but I think we got the point.
This was not an easy call to make. Dante and Clive matched each other so closely, it was hard finding a definitive advantage either had. This is best explained through 3 categories, starting with stats.
Both Dante and Clive could easily beat up universe-busting threats.
Mundus and Ultimalius could create universes at a whim, and Dante and Clive defeated them sans their own super forms. Dante and Clive could both consistently intercept lasers at faster-than-light speeds.
And Dante could always amp up with demon juice to briefly outspeed Clive anyway.
But Clive could match that by boosting his own speed and reflexes through precision dodge. Both were so beyond the pale that neither could definitively overpower the other.
Still, given their crazy powers, you'd think one of their abilities...
Yeah, that's kind of what I feared, because wasn't Clive's speed feat performed in his base form? Well, I'm not sure exactly, but I know with all, they mentioned his speed feat, and then they just gave him a fuck ton of, maybe not a fuck ton of extra forms, but a fuck ton of extra attributes that I could easily have conceived myself missing something that would imply, hey, he's this fast, but after all this shit, he's actually this fast. But yeah, there's such a substantial tower of escalation on both of their stats. I could fair calling that even.
Would break the deadlock.
Not so much. Dante and Clive could generally match each other blow for blow, be it to teleport, slow down time, flash freeze the other, block and absorb hits, etc.
And Dante could survive the intense flames of Ifrit. He's dealt with heat like that before.
Though Clive did not have a perfect match against Doppelganger, he did have more methods of manipulating time, both more reliable and abusable, in addition to defensive measures like Ifrit's barrier to fall back on to outlast powers
that would compensate for the speed disadvantage if there were one.
Like Doppelganger.
But their super forms evened out. Any edge Clive could get from, say, Limit Break or Ifrit Risen, Dante could match with Devil Trigger or Sin Devil Trigger.
In the end, both have answers to most of each other's powers, making it still anyone's win.
Which is why it came down to one major factor. Endurance. Just how long could these two keep at it?
While Dante's super forms could undoubtedly keep up with Clive's, there is an emphasis in story and gameplay that they expend a lot of demonic energy.
The longest Dante has battled in Devil Trigger against someone his equal is about 6 minutes, and abilities like Doppelganger, Quicksilver, and Sin Devil Trigger burn through it even faster.
Clive's time in Ifrit Risen isn't limitless either, but it can last longer, fighting for tens of minutes if necessary. But given how close this match is, it's vital. If Ifrit Risen catches Dante outside of Devil Trigger, it's over.
I know what you're thinking. Dante's crazy tough. His healing factor's way better than Clive's. Clive can regen lost limbs, sure, but Dante can heal from getting reduced to a puddle. Couldn't he just tank Ifrit's attacks?
Well, yes, but also no. This is where context is everything. While no doubt impressive, Dante's healing has been overcome in the past because it is tied to how much energy he has. Less demonic energy means a less potent healing factor.
Like when he got knocked out for a month straight by Urizen, only surviving thanks to a constant source of demon blood. Hell, overtaxing demon regen is how Dante killed Virgil in the first place.
Even if we assume Dante could get a second wind, it's always possible Clive could get one too.
I zoned the fuck out.
How much energy he has. Less demonic energy means a less potent healing factor.
Like when he got knocked out for a month straight by Urizen.
Overcome in the past because it is tied to how much energy he has. Less demonic energy means a less potent healing factor.
Like when he got knocked out for a month straight by Urizen, only surviving thanks to a constant source of demon blood. Hell, overtaxing demon regen is how Dante killed Virgil in the first place.
Even if we assume Dante could get a second wind, it's always possible Clive could get one too, becoming even stronger from pure willpower, just like when he fought Ultimalius.
So, for as tough and persistent as Dante was, Clive was able to endure just that much more to get the final edge. The devil was in the details, but Clive's victory.
Super form. Well, you know what, though? A big part of the reason, basically, Clive won because his super form lasted longer. But it's interesting that how the choreography within the animation itself had them both in their base forms at the final clash, which was a creative decision I thought was really cool, but doesn't it kind of undermine the principle of conveying the outcome and the arguments and the logic through the animation and choreography? Perhaps, but I still really liked that. It was really cool.
Is no fantasy.
The winner is Clive Rossfield.
Next time on Death Battle.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death
So
Battle.
fucking
Thanks
excited.
for watching.
And I will be watching that tomorrow as well. But yeah, that's all. It was a good episode. Quite good. And yeah, this was fun. It was fun streaming my reaction. And yeah, and I'm about to start playing Overwatch. Don't really feel like recording that because I'm tired. And yeah, even though really if I'm tired, well, I shouldn't really be playing Overwatch to begin with, given the focus it requires. And in addition, if I'm tired, that would imply I don't want. If my reason for not wanting to stream me playing Overwatch is because I'm tired, that would imply that I'm going to be talking while playing Overwatch, which I've established before is not a good idea because distractibility. Got to be silent, stone cold, poker face while playing Overwatch, at least for now. So, but I digress. Yeah, everyone be well, and thanks for joining me.